What's good? Booze Views, the Naked Truth is back. I'm with my girl D Davis.
Hey.
We're about to decode women. The things that women do that leave men confused. Let's get into it. Fellas, I'm reading off of your responses, okay? Some of these we already answered. So, here's one. Flirting when they aren't really interested. Dina, why do women flirt when we aren't really interested?
I mean, it's just in our nature. We don't necessarily flirt to get anything out of that. Sometimes we flirt and we don't realize it. I've had someone tell me that you just flirt like just naturally, and we don't really realize we're doing it. But there are times that we do flirt because we need to get something out of it.
Well, you know, that's what I was saying when I read that. I said, well, how do you know that she's flirting? Maybe she's not flirting. Maybe she's just being nice and mannerable and you're taking it as flirting.
Right.
So
and
what's
how do you know
defined
she's
as flirting?
not interested? I mean, maybe she's starting that way to see where it may lead. But some of us, I mean, that's just our nature.
Well, and then, you know, some women, maybe they are flirting and it's just because they just like the attention.
Yeah.
They may not want
like
anything
attention.
more. You know, it's
Yeah.
just an ego boost.
It's like-
Do men need an ego boost? Michael? Michael, the station owner's like, I'm not in this. He's shaking his head. I just like to call him in every now and then because I already know he's going to be like, I'm not answering these questions.
I ain't in it. So, no.
Fellas tuning in, do you guys sometimes need an ego boost too? I mean, come on now. Keep it 100.
I mean, as human beings, we all like that, right? We do flirt. I mean, and there are times that you don't realize that you're flirting. It could be someone bagging your groceries. You're like, thank you so much. I'm that person. Like, at times, I have this rule, and this is kind of like sidebar. When I go get my hair done, I cannot go home until 3 people have told me my hair was cute. Because my stylist, Christy Kimball, she charges a lot of money. And I'm like, I'll be damned if I go home and lay down. Somebody's got to tell me my hair's cute. So I'll go out and I might flirt with somebody and they'll be like, oh, damn, your hair looks nice. I'm like, thank you. And then I can go home.
Well, I just think it's human nature. I don't think it's women. I think in general, as humans, sometimes we like attention. I mean, if we were meant to be alone, there'd only be one human on the face of the planet.
Well, God didn't make us that way.
Exactly.
Right?
So, fellas, don't read too much into that. If she's flirting with you and she's not really interested, she just might need an ego boost. She might just like your smile. She might think that you're a great conversationalist in that moment, and that's all that she has. That's all there is to it. Maybe she has a man at home, which is why she can't take it any further. Maybe she thinks you have a great smile, but she's not attracted to you romantically, which is no diss towards you. I mean, in our DNA and how we are created, there are certain... I'm going to go even deeper on this, okay? There's a thing called, and I'm a very spiritual person, there's a thing called soul contracts. And I think a lot of people don't really pay attention to that if you're not a spiritual person. Everybody that comes into your life that you have a relationship with, that you have a connection with, whether it's a friendship, a work relationship, family, love relationship, whatever type of relationship it is, this is all predestined. They are brought into your life because we all have a path. And in order for us to fulfill our path, these people have to come into our lives in order for us to get whatever experience we're supposed to get in order for us to fulfill our path.
There's a purpose.
There's a purpose. So a lot of times guys read too much into a woman flirting and she's not interested. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. She's just not part of your path. She's not part of your destination. But what happens a lot of times with men is they internalize it. They think something's wrong with them, so then they don't shoot their next shot.
Well, that, and there's a purpose at times that something you're trying to gain. You're standing to gain something from that. There are times like, you know, when I was married, and we might be checking in a restaurant or whatever, and I can tell that she's not feeling my energy. I'm like, babe, go up there and see if we can get like a table and we don't have a reservation or whatever. So there's advantages to flirting also. But when it comes back to women flirting, I mean, who's to say we may not necessarily be flirting? That's that person's perception or whatever.
Exactly.
So again, it's all relative, right?
Exactly.
But to decode a woman, it's confusing for us. I mean, as friends, women as friends, it's hard to figure out, well, she said this, but her body language is that, but then this is what her actions actually did.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to figure that shit out too.
Well, it also depends on what kind of men she's come across, because just speaking from my experience, when I'm genuinely a nice person and I'm very a mannerable person, and when I'm in the mood to converse, I will converse with the perfect stranger if they approach me. I don't usually, I'm not the one that initiates it, but if they initiate a conversation with me, I'm like, hey. And I've had guys take that wrong and think that I'm interested, and then when they've actually asked me out and I've turned them down, I've had some really scary situations where I've had guys follow me to my car and tailgate me out of a parking garage all the way out into the street trying to intimidate me. So from those situations, what happened to me is I started to become very closed off, had a straight face. I would have the RBF, the resting bitch face, when I would go into a gym. And a lot of times people might think, oh, she's stuck up. Oh, she acts like she's too good. No, that's not it. You don't realize that I had a scary situation with some crazy fool who couldn't take my kindness and me saying no nicely for what it was.
Yeah.
And threatened me. And then that's just one situation. It's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
So now I have learned to not walk around so friendly and so welcoming. Now I need to fill you out.
Got to scale it back. And that's the truth. I don't know if you remember. Remember, I had a stalker, and I had to learn how to do that. And that's just me saying hi in the parking lot. So it's hard to decode us because we become protective and we put that wall up. And that's typically based on life experiences, good or bad.
Yeah.
However, I think, again, as we grow as human beings, based on our experiences, if you're a grown-ass woman, and I hate to say that, you're going to say how you feel, so then you're not misconstrued. People don't misunderstand, and it should not be as hard. But I know in your early ages, in your early adult stages, it is complicated because you do say one thing, but you may mean another. However, if a person is confused, ask questions. It's called communication.
It's called getting right. Clarification.
Absolutely. So if you're not sure by something I said or my actions, then ask me because I will tell you. And I think we at times we think each other, we're like mind readers, right? Like, why don't you know this? Because I don't. I need you to share those things with me.
Yeah.
And
I think what happens often as well is sometimes, not all men, but a lot of guys take these things too personally.
Right.
And you can't take it personally, because women, just to keep it 100, we're turning down dick every day. Every second the hand moves on the clock, no matter which country you're in, no matter where you're at on the planet Earth, a woman is turning down dick somewhere, okay?
Put that away.
Multiple times a day.
What that?